and she went into her own version of the scene.
You only have one chance to impress the filmmakers, and these actors took it. Improvisation is common in movies, but it can also be found in the casting process. Which actors were confident enough to go off script for the role they wanted?
I lied to Martin Scorsese for Hugo.
Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man in the MCU is beloved by fans, and a lot of people can't imagine anyone else in the role. Tom made sure no other actor had a chance to get the part by nailing his auditions. He did a scene opposite Robert Downey Jr., and the two improvised together, riffing off each other.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I love adventure.
This is despite Tom's agents warning him not to improvise at all. Turns out it was the best thing to do, as they loved Tom's natural charisma and cast him as the web slinger.
Do I need to do that? I know we're on different teams. I just don't want to be disrespectful to you.
The Guardian of the Galaxy landed the role of Star-Lord by impressing James Gunn during an audition alongside Dave Bautista. Pratt improvised his response to Bautista, asking why he would put his finger on his throat.
That's just an expression for slicing.
He also improvised his line after he touched Bautista on the shoulder.
I won't touch you again. That's the last time I touch you.
Gunn actually resisted auditioning Pratt, but after seeing him perform this scene, he knew he was the guy for the role. Robert Downey Jr. has a natural charisma to him which can't be replicated, so it's no surprise he went off script for his audition to become the now iconic Iron Man. He has said multiple times in the past that he regularly disregards what is written, as he prefers going off book. At one part during his audition, his improv led him to offer some vegetable snacks to the person working with him in the scene, supporting Downey's love of snacking on set.
Crudité?
We would see his natural ability to improvise make its way into the movies, as he became the character of Tony Stark.
Blueberry?
Dacre Montgomery plays the intimidating Billy Hargrove in Stranger Things, and it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role. Montgomery decided not to wear a shirt for a good portion of his audition, which was completely his choice. He also decided to improvise a little dance to the song Come On Eileen that showcased his ability to be intimidating, scary, and funny all at the same time. He truly embodied the troubled character.
You are dead, kid.
Khal Drogo is one intimidating dude on Game of Thrones, so the role had to go to someone just as intimidating. Jason Momoa ended up being the perfect match, and he landed the role thanks to a bold decision to start his audition off with an improvised haka dance. It's a traditional dance originally created by different Maori tribes in New Zealand. It was a great decision that helped Momoa secure the role. Dafne Keen was only 11 years old when she appeared in Logan. It was a big role, and a crucial one for the film, as the character appeared alongside Hugh Jackman in his last turn as Wolverine. During an audition when she read alongside Jackman, she improvised an entire scene with the veteran actor, speaking in both English and Spanish, which was completely her idea. Everyone was blown away by her performance, and the scene even made it into the movie. The great Patrick Stewart stated it was one of the most extraordinary audition tapes he had ever seen.
Thank you.
De nada.
You know and love the golden trio of Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe, and Emma Watson. But have you ever thought about the other actors that auditioned for these legendary roles? Well, there were quite a few. Thousands of children going for first-year roles auditioned during the open casting calls. If they were called back, they had to improvise a scene where they are a student arriving at Hogwarts. Ultimately, we know who ended up being the best choices.
Not me, not Hermione, you.
Alden Ehrenreich was the first person to audition for young Han Solo. He ended up doing 6 auditions, mixing in some improv moments that proved he had mastered the swagger and charisma of Harrison Ford's iconic character. In one of his auditions, he acted alongside a dog puppet that he had to interact with.
I got a really good feeling about this.
John Krasinski's audition for Jim Halpert on The Office contained more talk about fruit than you would probably think. Creator and showrunner Greg Daniels asked Krasinski to do some improv about his favorite fruit during his audition. The comedic actor started rambling on about pomegranates, discussing how he only gets them once a year. He even ended the conversation with a classic Jim look right into the camera. John was just the absolute best Bugs Bunny at getting those looks across.
I'm boring myself just talking about it.
For the movie Hugo, director Martin Scorsese was adamant about only casting Britons for the film. Chloe Grace Moretz, who is American, wasn't going to let that stop her. She decided to audition and do so with a British accent, lying to everyone there, claiming she was British. When the audition was over, Moretz thanked the director in her regular American accent, which shocked Scorsese. He was impressed enough with her, however, to break his rule and cast her as Isabelle.
Wait a second, kid, you're American? I was like, I am. He was like, you fooled me.
Steve Carell is now known as a legendary comedic actor, but at the beginning of his career, he had to prove his talents in each and every audition. For his audition for the role Brick Tamland in Anchorman, Carell dazzled the casting department with his masterful improv. In the scene, Carell was pretending to eat a rancid sandwich, with Will Ferrell also performing in the scene. His exaggerated eating and movements had the panel dying of laughter, and he laughed along with them, which fit perfectly with his character. For Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks did an audition in tandem with Haley Joel Osment, who would go on to play Forrest Gump's son in the movie. Hanks improvised a lot of his dialogue during the scene, mostly to help Osment and make him feel comfortable. He talked about cartoons and even made sure Osment kept his eyes up to the camera. Through Hanks' implicit kindness, he showed exactly what was needed to portray the kind-hearted Gump.
You watch cartoons?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Did you know that most of the Blair Witch Project was completely improvised? Improvising for an entire movie meant finding the perfect cast to do so. Actress Heather Donahue recalled the auditioning process, which she found through an ad that included the line, "It is going to be hell, and most of you reading this probably shouldn't come." At the audition, actors were immediately hit with a prompt to improvise as a character that has been in jail for 9 years. And if they hesitated for even a moment, the audition would end.
It's just the three of us actors pretty much making the movie.
During his audition for Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Russell Brand improvised an entire scene where he had to passive-aggressively convince his partner to go horseback riding. It's a hilarious scene that demonstrates Brand's comedic chops. He had everyone in the room laughing, and there was no better man for the part.
First time I met you, if I'd have mentioned horseback riding, you'd have chomped at the bit more than any horse would.
Jim Carrey is known for his over-the-top, outrageous comedy bits. So when he auditioned to play Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon, he wasn't seen as a legit contender. That was until he absolutely nailed his audition. The tape he sent in was completely improvised, and it sold the creators of the film that Carrey was perfect for the part. It takes a lot of confidence to go off script and improvise during an audition. It could have made the difference between these actors landing the part and us seeing a completely different actor portraying our favorite characters today. Which actor do you think had the most impressive improvisation?